Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Operation Remote Resilience channel for Cities. My name is Robin, and I'm the instructor for the restorative class. And I'm sorry we had some technical difficulties getting started. But here I am, and it's a really good time to come into this restful practice. So, restorative class practice is about finding rest and ease in the body through the use of supports such as pillows, blankets, blocks, and allowing the body to unwind from tension and anxiety with the supports as we kind of focus on the breath. So I know we've got a very late start. If you have some things you can quickly grab, couch cushions, pillows, decorative pillows, blankets. I hope you have something here to provide some supports. We'll just go ahead and we'll get started right away. I also am going to use a chair today for our resting pose. So if you have access to or do legs up the chair or up the wall, so if you can use a wall, you can use a chair. You could even use like your sofa and put your legs up. So just want to let you know that's how we're going to end practice today. So let's begin by starting on our backs in a simple supportive rest back bend. And what you're going to want is something to support your upper back. So a small pillow, a bolster, unless you're really long torsoed, a bolster is a little bit on the high side. So just find either a folded blanket or a pillow that you can bring underneath your upper back, and then another pillow or a rolled blanket underneath your neck to support your head. And your feet are going to come into contact with the floor through bent knees. And you're just going to extend your arms long from your shoulders, and feel the lift and opening across your chest. So breathing deeply into your belly. Notice the expansion of your belly, and then softly release the breath. And notice how the belly just softly contracts and the chest still stays kind of open and lifted. So we're supporting the upper back, we're supporting our internal organs, and we're just allowing the breath to circulate a little bit in more spaciousness, and a little more spaciousness in our body. So let's just notice the breath to start. And maybe you want to let your knees kind of drop in and your feet widen to the edges of your mat, creating a little teepee with your legs. So support your hips and your legs on the earth, and then feel the support underneath your upper back as you rest onto your prop. And begin to draw the breath in through the nose. And let's take a couple of cleansing breaths out of the mouth and just soften with an exhale. Let's try that again. In through the nose. Really expand through the chest, and then a nice cleansing exhale, maybe even a sigh. And one more. In through the nose. And sigh it out. Now just breathe naturally for yourself. Noticing what you notice with the breath. When I'm doing a restorative practice, I kind of like to think of calming words like inhale, resting, exhale, softening. Because again, we're trying to bring a little more comfort into the body and ease into the mind to unwind tension and anxiety and have a restful practice in stressful times. And again, breathing and exhaling. All right. So hopefully you're beginning to settle into your breath and notice where the breath goes in the body. And now let's take a nice deep breath in. And exhale over, and we're going to just roll to one side. Bring yourself to one side, and we're going to change poses now. And we're going to just come up just a little bit, just to kind of shift the props out of the way. Move your blanket and your pillow, and we're going to do a rolling twist. I'm just creating a little more space here. And we're going to start on this side. Reach your arms long, stack your arms, and kind of draw your knees on top of one another. And then we're going to inhale, and we're going to roll back onto our shoulders, bringing our top shoulder to the floor, and extend your arms long. Rotate your chest up towards the ceiling. And this is an inhale, and then you're going to exhale and come back. That was kind of a long inhale, wasn't it? Let's try that again. Let's inhale, arms open, rotating the shoulders to the floor. And then exhale and just roll on back. And let's do 5 of these. So this is 3. We're going to roll open, take in the breath deeply. Exhale, release to the earth. Couple more, inhale, roll. And what we're doing is cueing our autonomic nervous system through our vestibular system in our inner ear with this rolling sensation, which sends calming cues to the brain and to the nervous system. And maybe one more time. Inhale as you open, and then exhale here and just look up above you and slightly draw the knees in towards the chest and roll onto your back and just shift onto the back of your pelvis. And let's take a breath in, draw the knees into the chest, and exhale here. Really feel that back widen on the floor. Rock and roll just a little bit, loosen it up. And then let's roll the knees to the other side. And we're going to bring our arm over, stack the arms, inhale here, and roll back to the earth. If it's too much on your lower back, you can always take that top leg and roll it open as you open the arms. So find what works for your body and what feels good, and just enjoy this rolling sensation connected with your breath. Exhaling as you come back. Gentle roll through the back of the head and the shoulders. And again, exhaling. And let's do one more. Inhale, open. Bring your top shoulder to the floor. Kind of rotate a little bit onto your back so you have both shoulder blades on the floor. And just gaze upwards or have your eyes softly closed. Take a couple breaths here. And then exhale your knees up and on to your lower back. Kind of rock and roll a little bit. Stir your knees around. Release your lower back. And then take it over to the side and gently with the top hand, press yourself up towards seated. And what we're going to do now is grab our blanket again. And we're going to unroll it, kind of have it in this kind of quarter fold here. And we're going to come and lay on top of it on our torso. So just bring it down until it's like at the lower part of your torso. Your whole chest is sort of resting on it. And then just stack your hands on the top of your mat and bring your head to one side. And maybe rock and roll a little bit in your hips, again, releasing your lower back. And just feel the contact of your belly and the whole front of your solar plexus and torso connecting with the earth. And take a nice deep breath here. Feel the expansion and add the little bit of pressure onto the front of your body, which is really, again, another calming cue. And exhale, soften. And as we're in our restorative poses, I like to think of cue words like pause, soften, connect. We're really finding different ways to connect with our inner self, our inner being, as we breathe and as we spend time resting in these poses. So again, notice the breath. Notice what it feels like to breathe against the support of the earth beneath you. Feel the expansion in your back and your rib cage as you breathe. And now let's turn your head and turn it the other direction. And this may be the comfortable side or the awkward side. It may feel a little tight, but try breathing into it. Take 3 to 5 breaths and try to soften the neck and the shoulders. With each exhale, take a few more rounds of breath here. And we're going to begin to prepare to switch our pose. So maybe one more breath. And then as you exhale, just draw your hands underneath your shoulders and draw yourself up to seated. Onto your right hip. And I'm going to bring another prop. I'm going to bring my bolster. If you don't have a bolster, stack blankets or maybe 2 decorative pillows, one in front of each, one. So there's a link here with your props next to each other. All right, and what we're going to do here is a side-lying twist. So you want to bring your props right here next to your thigh and your hip. And then you're going to just inhale, lengthen up, and turn your torso towards your stack. And you're going to exhale and just lay right down onto the stack. And let your hands just relax next to your stack of props and bring your head to the stack. If it doesn't feel right on your neck, maybe add a pillow here to just rest the head a little bit. And what you're seeking is a sense of lengthening in the back. You'll feel a twist in your lower torso, your lower back. Your knees and legs should just feel released on the earth. Your back should feel long with a little bit of twisting in the lower back muscles. Try to breathe into those tight spots and then exhale with a little softening. And again, maybe think of some cue words to help you release a little bit more into this pose. Inhale, resting, exhale, softening, taking a pause, and just noticing sensations in your body as you breathe. Let's take a couple more breaths here. And then we're going to prepare to switch sides. So begin to use your breath to energize. Come on back up. Push yourself back up on your hands. Come on over to your knees and just switch your hips around and come to the other side. Same thing. You're going to just let your torso inhale first, lengthen up, and then exhale into this, bringing the heart right down onto your stack. And I'm just going to keep my head turning this direction so that I can speak to you a little more clearly. But you want to align your head with the same direction as your knees are pointing. So again, take a minute to inhale, pause. Exhale, soften. Inhale and connect. Exhale. Just notice what sensations you're feeling in this side. Does it feel a little different than the other side? Perhaps, perhaps not. And just notice where the breath is going in the body. Take a couple more breaths here. And then we're going to come on up onto our knees. So take one more breath. And then just bring yourself up slowly. Come on over to your knees. And take your stack and kind of draw it forward into the widening of your knees. And then we're going to come to child's pose. So we're taking the twist out of this, and we're going to now just pour our torso over like water and just lay onto our stack. Straight on, feeling the length in our back, the lengthening in the lower back, the draping of the shoulders over the side of your stack. Again, make sure your head is supported. And it's kind of nice. We can actually rest our head on a pillow, and we can also rest our mind on the pillow of the breath. So perhaps as you're in your restorative pose, think about that concept of just resting the mind. Another cue for releasing the mind is to think of dropping the thoughts away as you inhale. So as you inhale, it's like clearing the thoughts from your mind. And then exhale, just releasing them and letting them go. Just staying connected and focused on the breath. Inhale, clear the mind. Exhale, let it go. Take a few more breaths here. Since we got such a late start today, I'm going to just go ahead and teach this whole sequence. If you need to leave class, I understand, but if you'd like to stay a little bit longer and complete the half hour, please do. And then I'm going to draw myself up now, and we're going to switch poses. So we're going to come into a supported pigeon. So we're going to still keep this stack here because this can be really handy to release onto. And we're going to come into a pigeon pose. So I'm going to bring my right leg forward, and I'm going to kind of come onto my hip, and I'm going to extend this back leg and find my pigeon. If this is too much for you, you can keep a bent leg here and do the same pose, just releasing in the front hip and bringing your stack forward and releasing here. So you're just going to lay onto your pillows, whatever you have for your supports, and lean into that bent front knee. Another thing you can do is, if you want to support your pigeon a little bit higher on your leg, is to bring a pillow underneath your hip, and then you're up a little bit more here. And again, you can bring in an extra support to kind of just support your torso as you open and release in the hip. And just breathe softly here. See if you can release the heads in some way that you feel very supported. So releasing the hip, the inner and the outer hip, and allowing the torso to just drape again over some supports. A couple more breaths here. And again, with each exhale, think of softening and releasing. And then begin to shift. We're going to walk our hands up. Take your time coming up. Maybe stretch a little bit into your pigeon pose. And then draw your knees under and take it to the other side. Take down into your hip again. Maybe a support, maybe not. Position your stack so that you can just lean forward right onto it. And this extended leg is either rolled onto the top of your thigh, or you're kind of bending the knee slightly and just bringing it long behind you in a way that feels, has some comfort and has some ease into it. Again, a lot of these restorative poses, in sort of a yin way, the more you release onto the muscles and into the connective tissue, that's where you begin to feel the relaxation and the release. It's kind of the pressure that we bring into the pose with the weight of the body. So allow yourself to kind of find a way to support your head, loosen your shoulders and your neck, and keep breathing here. Again, notice what you notice. This is a deep forward bend. Breathe into the tight spots. Couple more breaths. And then we'll release our hands to the floor and ease our way up, press down. Again, if you want to take a breath and kind of lengthen up into your pigeon. And then exhale and bring that extended leg in and forward. And then we're going to roll around and we're going to leave the stack right here and we're going to bring our legs to the side of the stack. So you're going to come into an easy wide angle pose. Bring the stack forward, and again, you're going to need to adjust the height for your body. And there's a couple of ways to do this pose that I decide each time I do it how I want it to feel. So you could do a long forward fold, or you could bring a couple of pillows right here in front of you, or one big one, and kind of just squeeze them into your chest and round over. So decide what feels right for you and your body. I'm just going to kind of pull the whole stack forward here. I have my pillows here, and I'm just rounding forward because what I'm doing is opening this upper back and letting the shoulders just droop over the support, and it feels really nice in opening the whole length of my back muscles. And then there's just a gentle opening in my inner hips and thighs. And again, you need to decide on the width that works for your body today so that you're not feeling any strain in your inner thigh muscles and groin, but just kind of a pressure release. And then just soften your head forward. You could even bring a pillow underneath your head if you want. So take time with your restorative poses to explore and to find the way you can spend some time in them. Traditionally, when we do restorative poses, we want 2 to 3 minutes in each one, just to allow ourselves time to get the full benefit of the pose. There's a lot of support to our digestive organs and our internal functions in these poses if we take the time to sort of sit and stay in them. All right, take one more breath here. And as you exhale, let's soften. Let's bring ourselves up. We'll do one more and then we'll come into our final pose. So we're going to go onto our backs. We're going to do a supported bridge. I'm not going to use a bolster because for me that's a little too high, but 2 stacked blankets is just about what I need. So I'm going to just stack that and then bring my pelvis onto the stack and release myself down. Now, the other thing I could do is have a blanket underneath my shoulders. That would feel really nice too. And then I just release my arms out to the side, and this is a mild inversion. So it's supporting my lower back. My legs feel nice and released. And I'm refreshing the mind by just letting the blood flow down towards my head. My chest feels open. And it's just I feel opening in my belly. So there's more spaciousness for the breath to move. So just allow yourself some time here to breathe into that openness that you feel in your belly, your torso. Notice the sense of support under your shoulders and the back of your head as you lay on the earth, and the release in your hips. And again, your legs could be parallel here, or you could drop the knees in towards each other, bringing your feet a little wider on your mat. And just relax your arms onto the earth with your breath. Again, take maybe 10 breaths here, allowing your body to experience the benefit of this pose. and supportive to our digestive organs, supportive to our lower back and our hips, and calming to the mind. All right. And then as you are ready, I'm going to begin to shift. So take your time to come over to one side. We're going to come into one more pose for a resting pose. And again, this is the pose where you can use a wall to come to legs up a wall. We're going to do legs on a chair today, legs on the sofa, whatever works in your environment today. And I'm going to take my pillow, my blanket, and put it right under my hips. This would be a good thing to do if you're doing legs up the wall, is to have a blanket underneath your hips. You might want one under your neck or head or shoulders as well. And what you would do is just kind of sidle up right next to the wall. And then you're going to swing those legs up. And again, I'm coming on my chair, and I'm going to just bring this blanket right under my hips. And then ease on back. Adjust the blanket as I need it. And then just allow my legs to be up again in a little more of an inversion. And this is a very restorative pose, calming to the nervous system, highly suggested if you have trouble sleeping. Just come into this place and spend a few minutes here calming your breath. You could even bring another blanket on top of your belly, which is also calming, bringing in a little neutral warmth and also a sense of weight on top of the front of your body, which stimulates a relaxation response. So we're coming to the end of our class now, but I invite you to stay in this pose as long as you are able to really gain the benefit. And I'll end class today with just a little melody for you to rest by. May the sun always shine above you, and may love always surround you. May your heart be filled with peace, love, and compassion. So please stay and rest as long as you are able. And I would like to thank you for joining me today as a part of the Warriors Ease Operation Remote Resilience. I hope you enjoyed the class. This video will be available to the public on the Warriors of Ease channel shortly. Please consider visiting the link below on the page and making a donation to help keep these classes going. It's viewers like you that help teachers like me continue these services. So again, this is Robin, and I'm signing off of the Warriors at Ease Operation Remote Resilience in Health, Resilience, and Connection.